Welcome to LSK YouTube channel. If you like the video, leave a comment and like below. Don't forget to click the subscribe button below. Thank you for watching.
Respect is very paramount, and as Zambians, we always learn about this from home at a very tender age. We learn about how to respect each and everyone's role in the house. We learn about how to respect our parents, and overall we learn about how to respect elders. And so when we go out there as Zambians, we know that we should respect each other no matter the age, and we know that if you're a young person, you need to respect your parents or anyone who is as old as your parents. Now, of course, we know that there are a few youths who have no respect. And for me, if anyone had to insult the president, I would be the first one to condemn that person. Actually, I would be the first person to call that person out. Because for me, it's not just about him being the president of this country, but it's about him being as old as my biological father. Now, that being said, I've been an ardent follower of B-Flow, and I've never heard B-Flow insult the president or even use any language that is disrespectful to any leader. We can talk about Chela Tukuta. Of course, I don't agree with how he presents many of his cases, because myself as an individual, I'm more interested in issue-based discussions rather than character assassination. But I've never heard him insult the president. Now, the issues that were raised by B-Flow are very serious ones. And to say that raising concerns about our brothers who are being kept at their workplaces for weeks without going home to their families and wives is insulting, then I'm afraid that we need to insult more. If asking questions about our gold deposits that we have in this country makes me sound like a disgruntled youth, then yes, I am. Youths of this country need to ask questions. We need to know how the gold in Kasenseli is going to benefit the average Zambians. If we keep quiet, our gold will be stolen in Mwinilunga, and only a few individuals will benefit. We're asking questions about the resources in our own country, and that is putting the office of the president in disrepute. Why? Because we're using social media. Our boss, we interact with the president on Facebook all the time, so I don't think that using social media as a platform to communicate to the president is a very bad idea or disrespectful. Talking about bad policies is not insulting. The truth is that any government that tries to systematically silence opposing voices and views sets a very bad precedent. In fact, in most cases, these are what we refer to as last kicks of a dying horse. But we refuse to keep quiet when corruption and incompetence are the order of the day. Let me give you one example. The president just recently announced that the schools for examination classes were going to open on the 1st of June. And the government, the Ministry of Education, was flat out. They went out and they told us that they were ready, and they told us that they had sent funding to each and every government school. They told us that this funding, the first priority will be to make sure that they put in place precautionary measures, especially the buying of face masks and hand sanitizers. But what happened? On the 1st of June, some students in Mansa, at Mansa Secondary School to be precise, were chased home because they didn't have masks. Poor children. So are we sure that the pupil in Mansa and the pupil in Lusaka are going to have the same chance to sit on the same table in the future in Lusaka on these board meetings? Are we sure that they've got equal opportunities? My fellow youths, let us not stand down. This movement is for everyone who demands a better Zambia for their children and their children's children. This movement is for everyone who demands accountability. It is true that Africa has got more than 30% of the non-mineral deposits. But today, decades after independence, decades after liberalization, we're still talking about skills transfer. We're still saying that we need a foreigner to come to our own country to teach us how to mine our own minerals. My dear youths, let's not stop this fire from burning. Let us continue with this fire. If the youths of Northern Rhodesia were lazy and kept quiet, this country would still be under colonial rule. This movement we have started shouldn't die a natural death like the issue of the $1 million fire trucks. We shouldn't forget like we have forgotten about the 48 houses and that FIC report. We shouldn't forget like we have forgotten about the maternity annex in Kabushi constituency. Let's not forget like we have forgotten about the social cash transfer money that was lost and mysteriously found sitting in a Zanaco account. Our brothers and sisters who use Lumumba Road are asking why barely a year after its construction it's being done again. Who's going to pay for this? The people of Matero needs to understand what is happening. And finally, before I go, I would like to borrow a leaf from what my elder brother Makitu said a few days ago. I want to tell my fellow youths that if you have to speak, please don't speak from without. If we have to change things, we need to understand what we are talking about. We need to do our research. If you hear that ZCCM is entering into agreements with foreign companies, understand how it works before you start criticizing. Let's fight for leadership roles because we are the leaders of today and we are not the leaders of tomorrow like we've been told in the recent past. Don't allow yourself to be used as tools of political violence, because with violence we are not solving anything. Let's fight issues and not people. Let me just tell you today that 80% of Zambians are youths, and if we the youths, all of us, stayed home, stayed away during elections, it would be almost senseless to undertake these elections, because we are the people who put those people in power, including the president. So I'm telling you that today, you, my fellow youths, you need to use your voice, you need to research and make sure that we put these people to account. Let us continue to talk about these issues. Let us continue holding these people accountable. Let us continue making sure that we Zambians and the poor Zambians benefit from the resources that this country has. Thank you very much.
One thing that really has to be emphasized is there is no way that anything is going to be done for us without us, because that's just doing it against us. So key messages really, I'm just going to go right into it. Can I stand? I feel more powerful when I stand. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so key messages really that I have for every leader that's out here today: do not do anything without us, for us, because one, we need young people in key positions of power. There's no way that you can be making decisions like she mentioned about young people's health, young people's education, young people's this, and then all you do is just let them be beneficiaries. We're not going to be beneficiaries. That's not happening anymore. It's 2019. So give us power. We need positions of power. And then secondly, I really want to talk about prioritizing things that have to do with young people and female empowerment. Look, it's enough that you can promise us that there will be gender equality. It's enough that you can say this and that, but we need this reflected. You can't have a national budget and adolescent health is amounting to 0.1%. That's not working. We need these reflections in things like the national budget, increase budgetary allocations to things that have to do with young people, increase budgetary allocations when it comes to gender equality and female empowerment. I hate that we call this thing child marriages. That's pedophilia. It's inhumane. These things have to be worked on and they have to be fought. We can't have girls being married off. We can't have girls not accessing education. We can't have girls not being able to take care of themselves every time of the month simply because of stereotypical behavior. No. We need gender equality and we need this reflected in national priorities. And then, you're making it hard for me to speak. Another thing I really want to emphasize is I love that the Prime Minister of Canada has emphasized how quality is what we're looking for. But you can't expect any girl on the street to be just there and then you ask her, what do you need? And you expect her to tell you everything. We need proper capacity building mechanisms in each and every country. Young people need to be empowered with skills, with techniques, with everything they need to make decisions that have to do with their health. It's not enough that you just tell us things and then we make informed decisions. We actually want those decisions to be acted upon, and we want to know that we ourselves have the power to take charge and influence whatever is going on in our lives. So capacity building is key. And then 2 more points, I'm sorry. We have 1 more more thing, social accountability. I want to live in a world where I am not just assuming and watching the news and my president assumes what I want as a young person or as a girl. I want to tell him what I want, and I want him to tell me and promise me that he's going to provide those needs. So we need to bridge the gap between what we want and what is actually provided, and what is promised and what is actually done. Politicians can talk, guys, but action, no. We need to be able to hold them accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, we need proper mechanisms and channels to hold our politicians, the Prime Minister, the UN Secretary General, each one of us as well. We need to be held accountable for whatever we say and yet we don't do, because action is what we need right now. Enough talk. Let's go act and let's hold these people accountable. They owe this to us. And then lastly, last but not the least, I really want to emphasize on this. It's not enough that we have youth-friendly corners or youth-friendly spaces. Those are good, but then we should look at it at a global perspective. We need a global youth-friendly and responsive system. The whole globe has to bend to our needs, because let's be honest, we are the largest population. We deserve this, and this is going to benefit us. So invest in girls, invest in young people, and trust me, I am giving you this word. You can hold me accountable after this. I promise you it will reap great benefits. Thank you.